When life is but a torture, welcome to Smiley's Corner. Yeah!
My name's Smiley.
And my name's John.
Welcome to Smiley's Corner.
Yeah, what is up, brother?
What's going on?
I learned a nice little fact today that the dot above an I, the letter I, is called a tittle.
A tittle?
Yeah. I think Mark Norman had a good joke that was, stop looking at my tittle and look me in the eyes. I don't know, I thought it was funny. Yeah, I never knew that. But there's a really nice Twitter account called Fact that just tweets out weird facts.
Is that English?
What do you
Is
mean?
that like a Latin thing or something?
Oh, I have no idea.
No.
That's a good, I never really thought about it, but it's like a titty has kind of like a little dot on it, the nipple. So I wonder if that's like the origin of it. The Greek. Can I get the origin of the word, please? Is it a spelling bee?
Your tittles.
But I was that's kind of related to bodily functions and parts and stuff. But so I've told you. I don't know if I've told the podcast listeners out there, but I like to draw and stuff, and I have a character named Booty Hole Walrus.
Yeah.
I'm kind of leaning against that. I think he'll be the Booty Hole Walrus, but maybe I should just call him like Walter or something that sounds kind of like a walrus. But and this is something that never occurred to me either. But so he's basically gonna he has a butthole on his face, whereas where your eyes are is where the butthole is. So he's still got a mouth, and then he like basically farts through a tube that is connected like a jet engine. That like what's funny is I researched. Well, I quote unquote research like jet engines, how they work. Like they take in the air and it heats it up, and that allows them to propel. So I was like, well, I gotta make this feasible, like how it's I got a walrus.
It's gotta be legit.
You know what's funny is it never occurred to me till like the other day. It's like, I think I'm gonna take the butthole off his face and just put it where his butthole is. It never even occurred to me to like actually put the butthole where put the tube into the butthole, not into a butthole on his face.
Funnier with the butthole on his face.
That's true. That's just weird. I don't even know.
Do you want to?
I mean, surely they have buttholes, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, they shit and stuff, but I never really seen like a.
I've never examined they're mammals, so I assume they probably have similar parts to what we do.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, that would be ridiculous to think that they didn't, and I'm not suggesting that I thought they didn't. I just.
Because they're not like.
I've never really thought of like where exactly it is. I mean, I'm sure it's on the underside, somewhere about 3/4 back from the head. I'm assuming, and this is all just guesswork. But it was funny because there's a comic YouTube channel that I watch called Cartoonist Kayfabe. I cannot recommend enough, people. But they had a video where they were kind of doing a commentary over a book called Manga, and it was released in like the 80s, and it was basically kind of like the history and overall where manga was at that point in China. Mm. And they talked about
China or Japan?
Oh, sorry, Japan. And it was and I think it was actually in another magazine called Shonen Jump, which I believe Shonen, I didn't know this, but I think that's boy.
Okay.
I guess Jump is just Jump. I'm not really sure. But it's like a boys comic magazine, a lot of like strips and stuff, I would say, like comic strips or manga strips, so to speak, or like short stories and stuff. But there's a character named Tar-chan.
Yeah.
And it's I think it's like King of the Jungle Tar-chan. It's based off of Tarzan. Mm-hmm. But he has the ability to fly, and he does it by stretching out the skin of his testicles to basically create a glider. And I was like, and this is in the 80s, so I'm thinking I'm kind of and then I found out, and this character I've actually seen, Kinnikuman, and I've actually seen this character a lot, but I don't know anything about manga. But he has really, it turns out it's a mask, but he has these really giant, like almost look like a donut lips. It looks very bizarre, but apparently it's a mask because he's like a wrestler. But he also has the ability to fly by farting. Or I don't know if he does, or because I think because there was a show think it's called like Ultimate Muscle, but they both had TV shows, which I thought was crazy too. But I was just like, man, I'm like 30 years behind the trend. But it kind of made me realize like I should probably read some manga because that sounds more. I'm kind of off the superhero.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say trend, but it's like fucking 80 years going now, so I don't really know if it was a trend. But yeah, I just felt kind of like I felt good. Like I feel like I normally should have felt like, oh man, it's already been done, but I felt like justified, like in a weird way, because I'm like, man, this is just too dumb. Like I don't know if this, like it just seems like a bad idea. But there's so many things. And this isn't a boys' magazine, by the way. This is like marketed towards boys and stuff. They had one story where these girls were trying to get even with this guy. So they basically got his dick and tied it around him and then showed him some pornography or something to basically make him get a hard-on. And this is in that same magazine from the 80s, and I'm just like... Wow, it makes a lot of sense.
That's bizarre to me too, because like the Japanese, at least like in their porn, there's no they don't do penetration, and you can't see.
Yeah, I know they blur out that stuff. Like,
oh, what is it? There's no penetration.
Is there no penetration?
Well, I think there's penetration, but it's blurred out.
Because I'm gonna be real pissed if what I've been seeing is like them. I've seen a porn where like. The people are fake fucking. It's really weird because I'm like, you're both butt ass naked.
And well, all you have to do is turn on like, well, not Cinemax anymore, but.
But this was like, I've seen these two people in the porn, like fuck in other videos.
Oh yeah.
So I was kind of wondering, I'm like, maybe he just couldn't get it up that day. So they're like, well, dude, we got to shoot this scene.
No, I think it's a lot of times what they do is they'll do them simultaneously. You'll have the softcore version and the hardcore version.
Oh, well, these both looked... I mean, this one looked hard. Like, it wasn't filmed for Cinemax. We'll just put it that way. It was kind of poorly. Not poorly done, but, like, you know, it wasn't, like...
But I can't remember what
it didn't have this nice kind of blur and kind of fancy look to it and everything.
Where I was going, though, was that... I can't remember how, but I think we talked about that, the whole bukkake thing.
Mm-hmm.
They did the bukkake so you know that the guy came. Because you can't see the penetration. And I don't think you can actually show... You can't show the dick shooting the stuff, but you can show the after effects.
So if you see this woman's face covered in cum, you're like, all right.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I don't really need to, like... with porn watching for me, like I don't really need to know that they came. I mean, I guess that's cool, but like
some people are all about it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're like, it's always funny whenever you have those clips and they're like, you want to see more? And I'm like, bro, I got exactly what I needed. I know where this ends. Like it's not ruined for me. Like I don't need to. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of cum on face.
No.
I don't know, man. I'm not really a fan of that, especially a lot of cum where it just looks like their face is melting or something.
No.
Like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. But what's interesting about the to take it back to manga, I guess, is that they like we have the whole superhero thing. It's like there are like several different genres. Like I think a lot of people see comic books as like a genre, but it's really a medium. Like movies, you have horror movies and comedies and westerns and stuff. But a lot of people when they think of comic books like, oh, it's superheroes. But there's a whole plethora of like different varieties of topics. But like Japan was on it first, and they have like not just like hey, here's a comic book about like a housewife. They have like a whole genre devoted to like women cutting carrots and cleaning house, and they have like the everyday man. They have like every sort of genre you would want. It wasn't like any one reign. Well, I mean, I guess technically, I don't know what Akira and stuff like that is considered.
Oh,
but
well, I guess that would be like sci-fi. Yeah.
I mean, I guess there's ones that are obviously more popular than others, but like they did it the way that you think America would do it. They're like, oh, this is a popular medium. Well, we need to have like, people like go to the movies. Well, let's see who's left out. We're gonna make westerns. We're gonna make superhero movies. We're gonna make sci-fi movies. Oh, we need to make movies, romantic comedies. We need But in comics, it never seemed like they wanted to do that for some reason in America. I mean, there's that. Like I say, there is a plethora of them, but like Marvel and DC, it's just weird to me. They're like, no, man, we're just gonna keep doing these same people. But like when I heard the whole variety of like. It's one thing to have a book about being a housewife, and I'm like, yeah, they have genres.
Well, actually,
specific to.
I don't think they went as extreme as you're talking about the Japanese stuff. But before the Comics Code, didn't they have like whenever they had all those big horror comics? Didn't they have like weird like romance comics and stuff like that?
Actually, Jack Kirby, the man who created the fucking Marvel universe with Stan Lee, like I think that was initially what he did was romance comics and stuff. And a lot of that horror stuff, it was funny because it's seen as a guy, which I think it's true that people were offended by it and they wanted it, to be illegal like people today with video games or whatever it may be. But I think a lot of that, the further you look into it, apparently it was like, this guy has his publishing company and it's not as popular as EC Comics. So how are we going to get them out of the way?
So it's just trying to like shut down other people.
And it's fucked up. It wasn't necessarily like they weren't truly offended. They were just like these guys are.
They were politically offended.
Yeah, they were honing in on our business. So the only way that we can get them is if we talk to some senator buddies. And there's this Frederick Wortham douchebag has a book about fucking. I think it's called Seduction of the Innocent.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
About how comics warp kids' brains. Are like, sweet, this will work out great, and we can get these fuckers out of the way. But I just I don't know, I was delightfully happy whenever I heard about a character that farted, because I'm like, I feel like I'm just scratching the surface, because that's the thing with the genre. Like, I mean, to go back to porn, Rule 34, whatever you can think of, like there's a there's a version of porn of that. It's kind of the same thing with comic books in Japan and stuff. So whatever you can think of, there is, and I'm sure they have sexual stuff too. Clearly, I just told you about wrapping a dick around a guy and getting a boner.
That made me think of something that I stumbled across on Reddit. I was looking. But we talked about this earlier off mic. I've been playing Zelda Breath of the Wild, so I went on Reddit and typed in Breath of the Wild, and on Reddit, they're amateur, like, I don't know if you call it straight up porn, but they have a section called Gone Wild.
Breath of the Gone. I'm just thinking of Girls Gone Wild, but a Zelda version of it.
Yeah, it's Breath of the Gone Wild. But there's a Gone Wild for everything. There's like Gone Wild Curvy, Lady Boner's Gone Wild, which is a bunch of naked dudes. Trying to think of what else.
Oh, Lady Boner, okay.
There's just like any kind of variation, or GW for short. But I saw that pop up and I was like, what the hell is this? So I clicked on it, and of course it's just like weird, like it takes like anime porn to like a whole nother level.
Yeah, I can
But
imagine.
It's all Zelda themed.
Yeah, there's a lot of you start going down that wormhole of like, well, this is weird. How weird is this gonna get? And you're like, man, any video game property is done.
Yeah,
it's already
all
done.
Fair game.
Like,
if it's nerdy and there's some dude thinking about it in his basement.
It's weird because I haven't really watched a lot, but I feel like there's more porn content about Overwatch. Like, I feel like I've probably seen more porn-oriented content about Overwatch than I've seen of Overwatch. What's funny is there's characters that names I know just because I've seen them pop up when I search for this weird stuff. And I'm not, it's just, it's the internet. Like, I feel like, what was Randall's character saying? It's Clerks 2, I think, where he says, what's the point of having the internet if you're not going to look up weird shit you're never going to do? That's kind of my thing. It's like, no, man, you just got to keep it, I try to keep it. If watching anime porn is just to, like, get a feel for it is, like, the worst I can do, then I feel fine. Every time I think I've hit the bottom of the barrel, though, they always shock me, dude. I'm like, I've thought of every Rule 34 that I can think of, and I haven't even. Oh man, there's so many. But there was another thing I wanted to talk about. So I watched the movie To be fair, I didn't watch all of it, but YouTube Movies, the YouTube channel, had Meatballs for free, which I don't think. Once I started watching, I'm like, I don't think I ever saw this movie. And is Bill Murray only in the first one?
I believe so, but I'm not for sure. It's been a while since I watched any of that.
Did you It was just kind of weird because I realized I think I could be wrong, but I feel like this summer camp in Meatballs was the entire summer.
Yeah.
Which I was like, so let me get this straight. During the fall and spring, your kids are in school, and once they're out of school, you send them to summer camp for the entire summer.
Yeah, I guess so.
It kind of sounds like you don't want kids, because that's kind of.
Well, I mean, during school, they have to deal with them at night, but.
Oh, I got to deal with them at night. That's funny. That's a very nice parenting way to put it. But I just thought it was. What's funny is every time I watch a movie about, I always think. The movie that I have the most, I don't want to say nostalgia for, but it's just the one that I was most aware of as a kid was Camp Nowhere.
Yeah.
Which all these camp movies make camp look awesome, and I'm kind of disappointed that I didn't ever go to camp.
Oh.
I feel like I could have been a 13-year-old fucking getting drunk, smoking cigarettes, and having orgies and stuff.
Yeah, I don't I don't have a whole lot of experience with camp, but I definitely did. I think all of mine were weekends, so I did band camp, and I also did church camp, and yeah, I don't know.
How long were they? They were couldn't.
It was just it was either a week or 2 or 3 days, for over a weekend. But I don't know. The band camp thing was interesting, because they still try to make everything moderately band related. So you'll have
Did you get fucked with when you were a fish?
A little.
Regiment fish. I heard about people at the school that I went to getting having to do kind of extremely light hazing. And I'm just dude, I don't even though it's extremely light. I'm yeah, I'm not. You out of your fucking mind? No, I'm not doing that.
I had I actually had some real serious fear whenever I was going in, not for the band stuff, but just for high school in general, because I heard all these horror stories.
Yeah.
So my dad was so worried about my mental health. We wouldn't talk to the principal, and
that's not helping the situation.
Yeah. But he was basically just if you don't want to do it, don't do it. It's just it's supposed to be a bonding thing.
Yeah.
So whenever I got there, at first I was a little freaked out, but not too many people messed with me. And then people did, and I was no. So they were okay. Some of them would kind of talk shit to me or whatever, but for the most part, nobody bothered me. And I don't know, I just kind of walked around and did whatever. But I saw a kid that was in my grade, he ended up in a dress and full makeup and stuff. Will, he got picked up, put in a dress, and brought to school in a trailer full of shit.
He had to go through the whole day?
Yeah, he had to wear the dress all day, I think. But
What do you mean shit?
It was either horse or cow shit in the back of a flat trailer.
Well, he just had to sit there on the shit?
I guess, and they, drove him to school and then let him get out.
See, that's just not, I'm just not going to do that. It's yeah, would you rather get beat up? It's yeah. I'm not saying that, I'll fucking kick the shit out of those guys, and they're I mean, yeah, they'll probably beat me up or whatever, but, it's just no, I'm not going to do that,
But I don't know, it was, kind of, like I said, I think it was one of those things where you had to almost kind of run in certain circles, because a lot of those kids that got fucked with the most were super popular kids.
That's true.
So
they're not going to approach me to even do it to me.
It did end up being I guess kind of a bonding thing, because I would hear the seniors talk about taking the freshmen out drinking and stuff like that, and just laughing at them not being able to hold their liquor, and
it's just weird. It's creepy, Yeah. When you I mean, I guess they're not really. It's not they're that far. At that time, 18 to 14 is a huge gap for a lot of kids and stuff. But 35 to 31 is not. But
yeah.
I just. I mean, I can understand the appeal. I just don't. They Then again, I was also never asked, so for all I know back then, I would have been like, yeah, I'll totally fucking eat shit out of a toilet, and you'll be my friend and stuff. But and I feel like that's where I guess a lot of fraternities kind of carry that. I mean, there are definitely like academic fraternities that are just solely based on school and just owning the world and everything, and then the other ones that just like want to fuck.
Yeah.
Suck and fuck.
Some of them, I remember some of the football players were definitely okay with it because they got assigned to like a cheerleader and they had to like carry their books around and stuff. Mm-hmm. So like that's not totally the end of the world following a hot girl around all day.
I do. There was. What's funny is it wasn't even hazing, but I remember a newer kid. I don't know how long he'd been there. His name was Luke. I don't want to say his last name, but I remember it was in athletics. Somebody. Guy named Wesley. I won't say his last name either because, I mean, I'm sure the statute of limitations is up on this. But basically they shoved Luke's face into Wesley's ass.
Oh, no.
And it was just like, joke's on you, Luke. And I'm like, it is, but it's also on Wesley. But, like, we're like, yeah, fuck you, dude. That wasn't even a hazing thing. They just didn't, like...
Really?
Yeah, and it was kind of weird because Luke was like... It was weird because I don't know if it's the same at your school, but I kind of realized... Because I was in athletics in, like, junior high and stuff, but, you know, definitely not the top of the class by any means. And then, I did band in, like, 6th grade, and eventually, like, by the time I got, like, out of junior high, I realized, like, oh, I don't have to do any of this. Why would I do any of this? I'm not going to have a career in football, and I'm not going to fucking be a professional trumpet player. So I'm just not going to do that at all. But it was just weird because Luke was, like, a cool kid. It was almost like choir and band kids were, like, their own world. Because he was a pretty well-to-do kid, like not a bad-looking kid and stuff, and it was just kind of weird because I'm like, man, you're getting like, I'm so glad of where I'm at because like I'm riding that line of like invisibility, and you're like not necessarily like I'm pretty sure like I heard stories about fucking Luke and like a guy that I grew up with, Clint, like. I think they had some pretty crazy shit going on with some chicks and fucking band and choir and stuff. But it's just weird to the rest of the school, like the mean fucking kids.
They were
just nerds. And I was just, I don't know, it's just so weird. It was like they were in their own world and stuff. And I was just like, every time I saw a cool band kid, I was like, technically that kid's more popular, definitely gets more chicks, but he also had his face shoved into someone's asshole. Like... And kind of for no reason. I don't even think he was really a dick or anything. He wasn't one of those guys that, like, I don't know how to describe it, but I guess, I hate saying it, but, like, kind of a punchable face. Like, he wasn't necessarily a dick, but there's just something about him.
Is that a shit-eating grin?
It's just like you want to fucking put this guy in his place, even though he's not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
But if I had to put somebody in their place, if I had the ability to do that, putting their face in my asshole would not be... That's so bizarre to me.
So that was a band thing?
No, it wasn't even a band thing. This was like in athletics. This would have been like 7th or 8th grade, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I only did band for like 6th grade, and I realized very quickly that this is not the people for me. Like, I'd much rather be a loner. And I don't think I was necessarily a loner, but if I had to choose between the two, like, yeah, I'll sit by myself at lunch and not hang out with you guys.
But yeah, I did band all 4 years, but I wasn't like, I hung out with a few of those kids, but it was only like, it was based on other interests. Like, none of us, like, I don't know, I just I did it for the PE credit, and then I just kind of stuck around because I didn't have anywhere else to go. Like, I don't know. And I just tried to, like, be invisible. Like, I was last chair as the senior.
Yeah, I kept moving this. I think there were like 20. I was like 23rd out of 23 trumpets, and it was like, man, it was kind of nice just not giving a fuck. Like, I did kind of miss that because it was weird because I felt like a bad kid in band, even though I wasn't really a bad kid. I was just like completely disinterested in it, and like nothing they could do would really. Like, if anyone talked shit to me to like get me motivated, like that just doesn't work on me. It's like.
That was actually, band was the only time, I can't remember if I said this on the podcast or not, but band was the only time that I got licks.
Really?
Yeah, because I said fuck while we were like walking out to the practice field.
It's bizarre thing.
And the band director was right behind me, and he's like, "I'll see you after class." So I was like, "Okay."
Isn't that weird?
It was very strange too, because it wasn't even like, I don't know. I've had I also got it. I got licks in 6th grade PE for
8th grade
horse playing. But that was in PE class, so he did it in front of the whole class, so it's kind of like an embarrassment thing. But it wasn't like painful at all. And then this one, he did it like in the uniform room, so there wasn't anybody there. There might have been there might have been another teacher present, but I don't feel like there was. And it wasn't painful and it wasn't embarrassing. It was just stupid.
Man, I can't. I mean, I know I would be bad at law enforcement. I would be a horrible teacher. I don't even know if I'd be a horrible teacher, because to me, like, fuck. I'm like, that doesn't compel me to want to hit someone in the bottom.
I don't know.
That's such a bizarre thing. And I would hate to be like, if I could see me getting in trouble with the superintendent or principal, whatever. Like, dude, when you hear someone curse, you're going to have to hit their ass with the fucking board.
Yeah.
That's what you get for cursing. And I'm like, that's kind of
BS. There were all like different kinds of levels to it too, because I remember in junior high, there was a history teacher who was this giant like redneck lady who like had like the body of a man. Like she was like she worked on like a farm and stuff. Like she lived out in the country, but everyone was afraid of getting licks from her because apparently they were super painful. There was an art teacher that had like a pretty bad reputation about it. And
build a reputation.
Then there was what was it? I think there was a science teacher. Same thing, because I saw a kid go out in the hall for like roughhousing or something in class, and he like came back in crying.
Wow. Yeah, I never got. It's funny, the lady that gave him to me, I remember I got him in kindergarten and I got him in 8th grade, and in 8th grade it was Miss Slaughter, ironically. But it wasn't too bad. There was a line of people. I think we just I know it was for not doing homework. I believe Cole was there with. We might have talked about this on the podcast before, but yeah, there was like a line of people. I guess she just got fed up with people not doing. And that's the thing is like, if people, call me lazy or mediocre, like that doesn't like, oh, I'm gonna prove you, I'm gonna be top dog like that.
I don't give a shit. I still don't.
That's not gonna work. What's funny is like I do kind of think about it from time to time, because I had a Coach Sharp. And very extremely nice guy, like extremely supportive of me and stuff. But like he did used to call me mediocre, just because like I was the C student. That, I guess maybe I wish people would just stop like having expectations and like what's the term? I'm not living up to my
potential.
Potential, yeah. Just like why? Like what's? Just get over it, man. Like fucking, you're the one with the problem, not me. Like. But it still stick to me. Like, that was kind of my nickname from him and stuff. And it wasn't like a mean thing. Like I say, he was a really nice guy. He just wanted me to get an A in his physical science class. Which I was like, I mean, we're having a good time in here. I like Clay. I got Ashley here. They're pretty cool people. It was really one of those classes where everyone got along and everyone was joking and laughing and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is fun. Like, why do you want to ruin this, Coach Sharp? But I guess other people could have fun and make A's, and I was like, well, you don't have to do that. So
I was always like, I was that horrible like overachiever kid for like quite a while.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then I think I was like that all the way up until high school, and then there was like a certain point in high school where I was just like, I don't fucking care about anything, and started doing very poorly in some of my classes, but. For the most part, I was like an A and B student.
Yeah, I don't think I ever, I don't recall ever failing any classes. It's funny, I made up for that with college for sure. Because it was like, oh, holy shit, maybe I'm a little too low on the mediocre list in college. Like, they really don't let that stuff slide here, so maybe I should probably try to pick it up a little bit just so I can finally leave this fucking place. Like it's like I did, 13 years of school, and you're like, yeah, that was so weird, too. Everyone's like, aren't you excited about, like, wow, like, I spent all this time trying to get out, and you guys like, you gonna go to more? Isn't that awesome? Like, no, not really.
Yeah, I like graduated high school and my dad's like, so what are you going to do now? I was like, I don't know. It's like, well, you're going to college. It's like, okay, great.
And I think if I'd have like put my foot down and didn't go, like I don't think my parents would have like twisted my arm. They really did want me to go, and I understand that and stuff. It's funny. I'm making myself sound like the worst person ever. I'm definitely not like dating material for sure. Like, hey, you want to be let down? Like, hey man, you can bitch at me all you want, but I'm not gonna give a shit if you're let down. Like, I don't really feel that way. I don't try to let people down, but I mean, it's their fault for having such high expectations and stuff. Like, fucking give me a break, bro.
But I did, I failed a few classes in college, too. I remember one of them, I thought it was hilarious.
A few. That's like a semester for me for a while.
I thought it was hilarious. I went and took college algebra, and I failed. That was my first semester, I think. And I was like, I don't understand why I'm not getting this. Like, I failed calculus in high school, but I got all the way up to like pre-cal and like did fine. So I was like, I'm not stupid. I'm taking notes. I'm trying to like follow along, but I couldn't figure it out. And then the teacher resigned over the summer, and I took summer school with another teacher and made a B.
Why did he resign?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Because that sounds like a scandal, you know?
Maybe. Hopefully he wasn't touching anybody. He was kind of a gross dude.
Gotta look out for those math guys, you know?
But I failed that, and I failed history. I can't remember. U.S. history or something.
I can think of 2. I can think of, like, failing 4 in one semester.
But
that's a semester.
I fell asleep while she was explaining how to get the download the notes off the internet, like, because she had like, it's basically you download all the stuff and like print it out, and she has all the bullet points on there, and then you fill in the gaps with your notes during the lecture.
Okay.
But I was too embarrassed to go ask, so I just wrote as fast as I could, and I failed.
That's funny. You went the entire semester just not knowing that they were there.
Well, I think I figured it out because I saw everybody around me, but I was like I said, I was too embarrassed.
Dude, that's the worst feeling when you see everyone else. Like,
yeah.
Where did they get that from? What is going on? I feel like you're in the Twilight Zone because it's kind of a similar situation. I remember one of the sociology classes I had. It was like the final paper or project. Like you had to, it was to turn in online. And I remember it was like the due date, and it's very bizarre because like. I don't know why I did. I think she had maybe taken roll or whatever. When she took roll, I just like walked up and handed. I had this nice like kind of binder and everything with my paper in it, and like handed to her. She's just like, "Yeah, we turned them in online." I'm like, "Oh," and I was like the only person that somehow didn't know that. Maybe I fell asleep that day too, but it was very like. I was glad I got it done, but man, I just walked right up and like, "Here you go." Like, what is this? Like the assignment due today? Like, yeah, it's due online. All right, yeah, I knew that. I just figured you might want a copy. I didn't. I wish I would have said that. I figured you might want a copy for yourself. You know, just put it on your bookshelf or something. It's some really great paper. I'm pretty sure I still have all those papers. You have all your college papers?
I don't know. I have a bunch of random like books and stuff in there, but I don't know that I kept anything. I think I probably got so mad at a lot of that stuff I just threw it away.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I've slowly over time that I had like a box of like mementos over the years, and I was just like looking through it probably a few months ago whenever I was going through Goodwill and stuff, and I was like, why is this here? Like, why did I? And I think I just like put it in the box 15 years ago and then just went about my life, and I was like, why did I think this was important to hold? I mean, I guess it wasn't really taking up space. It's practically an empty box of mementos now, but
I do remember I did really poorly in British literature, and I stayed up all night trying to work on that paper, and I even like was dedicated to like pulling an all-nighter. But I guess I just took too much caffeine. Like I got like some caffeine pills, and
that's what it was. Too much caffeine.
But
you sound like fucking Josh Hamilton, circa whatever year that was where he was on the Rangers.
But I got to the point like I set up at my dad's house. Everyone was asleep. And I was using his computer, and I couldn't form any sentences more than like a third grade level. Like I couldn't like, so I just shut it down and like stayed up the rest of the night, like being all strung out. And then I think I didn't even show up to the last class. I just failed it.
Jeez Louise, such a fucking dude. I'll never forget. I don't know if I should say his last name, but I mean, it's not like a bad story, but Adam B, we'll say that. I remember he was writing a paper, and he came to a spot where he was like, he knows there's this particular word that he wants to use in the paper, but he cannot think of what it is. And I remember he came out drinking. He met us at Andy's. So we're all like 4 or 5 of us are drinking, and he's explaining it. It's like, there's this particular word that I want and stuff. And it was just weird because this is like a big assignment that he's got to be working on, and he's out drinking. But Crowley shows up, and he's explaining it and everything. And Crowley's like, oh, concise. And he's like, that's the fucking word I need. And it was funny because, like, he was so happy because he was, like, he's the only fucking person I know that could do this. Like, be drinking at a bar for a few hours and then go back home to work on the paper. He's like, I got what I need. And it's so bizarre to me that he stopped doing fucking homework to go to the bar and actually, like, got what he needed to finish the assignment and stuff. It was weird that the one word was holding him up or whatever. I don't know. Maybe he was much further along on it than he made it sound, or what I thought he made it sound like. But I was just like, you sure you should be here, man? I mean, I know I'm the last one to talk, but I also don't really care. It sounds like you care.
Yeah, some people, I don't know, different chemicals like get their juices flowing.
Yeah, I don't think there was never any I never took any amphetamines or any there was never any alcohol involved in any of my homework or anything. Like,
I know
all me, baby.
Ben would he was writing a paper one time and he like sat in his room and like chain smoked.
Wow, really?
Because he didn't want to get up and leave. He just wanted to stay there, but he also wanted to smoke.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So he like opened a window and like he came and asked me. He's like, "Is it cool if I do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I guess just as long as you like keep the window open."
Yeah, it's just for like the night and stuff. I get that because I will agree with that because sometimes like I'll be like sketching or writing at home and stuff, and like sometimes I just get up and smoke. And I'm like, man, it's only been like 20 minutes, but I'm just doing it to like not even like I do want the cigarette, but it's just like as soon as there's the moment of hesitation or like, sit back and think, oh, a cigarette. Go get the cigarette. It's like I could have just like kept going with what I was doing, but as soon as there's that pause of like a block, like a mental block, it just.
But supposedly nicotine does help your brain like work better.
You know what's funny is I wish I could remember the writer. I feel like it's not Stephen King. I think Stephen King spoke highly of smoking and cocaine. I think he's spoken highly. Like, I don't think I'm telling tales at a school there. I think he has spoken highly of it for influencing his writing. But there's another guy that's like, no, it wasn't Hunter S. Thompson. There was somebody that I'm pretty sure referred to it as their like medicine.
Really?
Like literally the word medicine. I wish I could remember who it was, but yeah, I've always heard that. I don't know. Like, what's funny is I guess I've smoked on and off for so long that maybe if I just stopped, I'd be like, holy shit, I'm like totally uncreative now, and I can't do anything. This helps me. That sounds like somebody like, creative non-smokers wouldn't ever say that. I feel like it's smokers that are like, no, man, it helps me. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know. It's like something you like doing helps you. Like, yeah, okay. Like, I don't know. Like,
well, I don't know. I feel like a total fucking shill here, but I've heard Joe Rogan talk about it. He said he's taken like either like a drag off like a vape pen or a drag off of like a cigarette because some of his friends smoke before he went out on stage, and he felt like he was like kind of clicking a little better.
That's so weird.
And he doesn't smoke. I think he smokes cigars occasionally, but he's like just a weed guy. I'm
wondering if well, it almost sounds like it's like ruining your mind if you're an actual smoker. Like it just kind of like
stunting it?
Yeah, like it just kind of like if like
you have to have it to work?
Yeah, it's just like, because he's a non-smoker, he smokes, boom, he's firing. But it's like eventually over time, me smoking more and more, it's just going to...
Or that could be
fire is going to dull it.
Maybe it's like, counteracting all the weed.
That is true.
Because I still, like, to this day, I don't understand how anyone has, like a real conversation while being high. Like, because every time I would get, like, really fucked up, it was just, like, you couldn't, like, you can't put words and sentences together. Like, you can do, like, very basic stuff. If someone's on the same level, then it kind of works. But like I remember like hanging out with you, you're sober and I'm stoned, and like I just felt like an idiot.
The last time I smoked, it was 2008, and I remember vividly, like me and 3 other people sitting on the patio at the apartment, and my head's down. It was almost like a drunk thing where you all, like, I didn't get to spins, but it was just like my head was down and I couldn't like lift it up, or I just didn't want to lift it up. And I remember the guy sitting next to me, like his knee kept hitting my knee, and like I got lost in that for a little bit, and it was just like, this is why I don't like doing it, because I'm not really like hanging out. Like I'm all about, I mean, to be fair, that's why I was mediocre at school, because, and the same thing why I wanted to go to summer camp, because I really like hanging out, and I haven't stopped that in all these years. I like hanging out, and that was the thing. It was just like, this is just, it's killing that vibe for me.
Yeah.
So I just stopped. I'm like, why? And it fucking, I don't know. People are always like, oh, you got to be around this person and this person. You got to do it this time. You got to do this much. And I'm like, how about I just not do it? And like, I'm not unhappy that I can't smoke weed. Like, it's not like, God damn it, I really wish I could learn karate and fucking smoke weed and have a great time. Like, those aren't on the fucking list. I don't really want to learn karate, by the way. I don't want to. But yeah, just, I mean, I know what you're saying. Because, I mean, I lived with a guy that would wake up and smoke, and he was definitely way more active as far as, like, running errands and getting schoolwork done and everything. But that was, like, how he functioned. And, like, that's fine. Like, I feel like there's a lot of adults that can function. I don't want, like, doctors necessarily being high, or even, like, a plumber. I mean, plumber probably fine. Maybe. I don't know. But there's certain people that I'm like, all right, you're going to have to leave it at home. Like, that's totally fine if you're just doing schoolwork and you're high and you're getting everything done. But I don't know. Like, I don't want to necessarily be a smoker. That's a vice I have. So I don't envy anybody that, you know, has any other vice.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever it may. Unless their vice is, like, working out and fucking making lots of money. But I'm not jealous of people that, like, you know, can drink consistently and are doing great in life, or smoke weed. Like, I don't want that vice. Like, that's just another thing. I've got enough things. I'm mediocre. I'm a minimalist. I gotta have a minimal amount of things. But yeah, I should have been able to go to summer camp. That was the thing too about Meatballs, is that there was like, it ranged in ages from, I think, it was like because he said there was a 6-year-old bunk all the way to like high schoolers and stuff. And it just sounds awful. It almost sounds like school outside of school, because you're still waking up early. You're still basically eating cafeteria food.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just seems a little. I guess it's kind of cool, because I think in that movie they weren't. That is true, because they didn't all go to the same school. It wasn't like, well, school's going to keep going, guys, and now you're just going out into the wilderness and stuff. But
I do remember, like, I kind of, like, drifted off into whatever I drifted off into.
Ivan Reitman film. I didn't know that. I didn't realize, like, I knew Bill Murray. I thought Bill Murray was kind of like, oh, that's kind of odd that he did this one movie. But I'm like, oh, Ivan Reitman. I'm like, oh, this is kind of like, this is their thing. They were, like, building. Okay, I didn't realize that.
But band camp, like I said, it was, like, focused around band stuff.
I just
like,
realized the website is called Bandcamp and Bandcamp. The camp of band. I never that. Those two things never. Now I think it's an awful name for the website.
But we would do like marching and like I don't know, like whatever you call it, like band practice, where you sit in like some room and like play a bunch of songs or whatever. But in between, they had one of those blob things, like the big inflatable air pillow that one person sits on the end.
Wait, is this in the water?
Yeah.
Or? Oh, okay. Yeah, oh man, I want to do one of those so bad.
But we did that. That was pretty fun. I can't remember. I feel like they had some other like outdoor activities and stuff. And that, like I said, I would always kind of gravitate towards like a few people, but it was always like other interests. But I remember like talking to like a pretty cool guy who I'm still kind of friends with, and he like introduced me to like new music I didn't know about. So
really. Yeah, I mean, like, I could definitely see a lot of cool things. Actually, Salute Your Shorts was another big thing growing up. Like, I loved that show. What's funny is all the stuff that I liked as a kid, I really have, like, no... Like, I'm not going to be able to quote you a line from Salute Your Shorts. All I remember is that I watched that show, and I liked it a lot. But I remember Donkey Lips. That's the only character's name I can remember.
Who's Budnick was the redheaded kid with the mullet.
There we go. Yeah, but yeah, they always portray like a fucking camp is just fucking awesome. And like, I don't know, part of me is glad that I never had to go on that kind of stuff, especially in like, I mean, my sister started. It was very short-lived, but she started the youth group at my church.
Yeah.
And like I wasn't the only one that didn't join, but I was one of the few that didn't join. I was like, I don't hate any of these people, but I don't care. Like, I don't want to go to Six Flags. No? First of all, what's funny is I was already like kind of, out of religion or whatever at that point and stuff, and I was just like, what does Six Flags have to do with Jesus? Like, if we're gonna do this, I feel like it should be religious, but I mean, I don't know. I guess if you hang out with other Christian friends, maybe you talk Christian stuff.
I did lots of youth group stuff, but I don't know. I wasn't like.
Yeah, we didn't have one at my church. I don't think people really cared. They're just like, yeah, whatever.
Huh.
Which is funny. It's a Catholic church. Everyone always makes the fucking jokes about priests and stuff, but yeah, no youth group. I guess we're altar boys. Maybe that was.
But we did Six Flags, and we did what's the one? Is it Wet and Wild that was in Shreveport? The
Probably.
Slides and stuff.
Schlitterbahn.
I can't remember.
What's the one on 20? Is that Waterworks? Watertown.
Watertown.
I think I did go to Watertown for a. I think that was in band. Sixth grade, man. That was so fucking long ago. It's the only time I've ever been to Watertown.
We did lots of stuff like that. We went to remember we went to a youth convention and I got to see like Christian artists play.
I thought you were gonna say Christian Slater, man. Oh, that sucks. Hey, man, thanks for coming out to the show. Is that a good? I just gotta do. I wonder if you ask Christian Slater to do a Jack Nicholson, like, would he just be like, "That's what I'm doing, man. I can't. That's a bad Christian Slater."
But back to the youth group thing though. I did do church camp. That was okay too. A lot of it was, I think it was like outdoor stuff. We did like fishing and like canoeing and stuff.
Were there points where like you're doing studies like theology and stuff and like looking over
we'd
the
have
Bible?
like Bible study, and we did like we'd sit and then like do like praise songs and stuff with a guy with like an acoustic guitar playing and glory, glory, glory type stuff.
I will say it is weird. Like Bill Murray's character is very cool in that movie. But there's definitely, like, girls in the movie that are the hot girls.
Yeah.
But they are also girls, like, young ladies. And I don't know, there's a few parts that are just kind of like... And it sucks because I want to, like... You know, I see a guy helping out a kid, I just want to be like, that's a nice guy. But now in 2020, when you see that happen, you're just like, oh, he wants to fuck that kid. It's just, like, and that, that may just be me, but it's just like, everyone's got to put this horrible tint on it, and I'm part of that problem too or whatever, but there's several scenes in there where I'm like, there's one point where Bill Murray, like, there's another counselor or whatever that he wants to get with, and he's kind of like, it's jokingly, but he's like wrestling with her, and she's not wanting to wrestle with him and stuff, and I'm like, this is kind of awkward because he's like throwing her on the couch and stuff, and like there was a really weird scene because there's a kid named Rudy who's like the sad, depressed lone. It was really funny because I think he's the Rudy kid sitting by himself, and like Bill Murray and another group of kids are like walking up like, oh yeah, who ordered the sad, depressed lone kid or whatever, and it was just kind of funny. He's like making reference to like, yeah, every camp has to have one.
Yeah.
But I guess this kid's like. He kind of disappears, goes to some restaurant in town or whatever to eat, and he sees Bill Murray there. And Bill Murray's really nice to him, great guy and stuff. But the next time, I think the next morning, Bill Murray's like going on a jog, and the kid's like looking out the window, sees him jogging, and then just like puts on his clothes real fast, and then just jogs behind him and stuff. Because I guess like there's a point where they're playing poker together. I'm like, this is really nice and sweet, but like I say, in 2020, it's just like. Oh, this is weird. Could you please not follow me around, kid? Like, I don't know how. Like, that's such a weird... Like, it seems so much fun, and he seemed like a genuinely nice guy in the movie, but I just, like, being a camp counselor just seems very... God, it just kind of sucks, man, because a lot of people, John Wayne Gacy, people like that kind of ruin the reputation of, like, people who want to help the youth and stuff. I guess you could say. I mean, I appreciate teachers. I appreciate the after school programs and for inner city youths and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel kind of bad because I feel like I'm projecting what I think.
I think all the people are creepy.
You know, what I'm saying is like I'm accusing everyone of seeing it through that light, and people probably don't. Maybe it's just me. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's scary.
Yeah, summer camp also makes me think of like slasher films too.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is it's like if they're not getting weird with the kids, they're fucking murdering them. And that is funny because they don't have. Are there any movies where they have like where the killer goes in and murders all the kids in the 6-year-old bunk? That'd be weird, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's usually teenagers.
It's got to be teenagers at least.
Or like in their early 20s or whatever. Like
that'd be too much if like Jason walked into the 6-year-old bunk and just golly, and even saying it, I feel like a horrible person.
I don't know if there's any. I wonder if there are any movies where infanticide is like a big thing. I think that's kind of like a taboo.
Oh, that's crazy.
Thing.
Yeah, weird. That's a taboo.
Star Wars, they did it.
They did?
Whenever
who they murder?
All the younglings.
Oh, that's true. They did show it off. You know, they're not gonna show them shooting a 6-year-old.
You see like the aftermath.
God, it's crazy that's taboo. I mean, it is kind
of. Nobody wants to see kids die.
Well, I mean, you say that, but it's kind of weird because like a lot of like pro-choice people, I almost feel like they should like this is bullshit that they don't have to get murdered in movies. They should have to get murdered. They'd probably be like, oh, that's fucked up.
There are like creepy like foreign movies about like abortions and stuff, but
you know what? I think Toxic Avenger. I think they
kill a baby.
I think it's a kid, it might be a teenager, but I think they run over a kid's head.
Oh, jeez.
I'm gonna have to look that up. I could be wrong, but there's definitely a scene where like the crazy guys are in a car and they run over somebody. Now I'm thinking it's some old lady. I feel like it's a kid though.
Really?
I mean, you know what's weird though is even picturing I'm picturing a movie where like some guy just shoots like a 6-year-old. That's so like just picturing it. I'm like, that would be jarring. I'm just wondering if I would see the movie, obviously within the context, crazy guy. If I would just be like. You know, you see people get shot in a movie, you're just like, whatever. But I feel like if it was a kid, I'd be like, holy fuck, dude.
Yeah.
That would be it would definitely stand out to me. Even when a kid shoots another. Actually,
they had
The Good Son?
Yeah.
Fucking, I mean, if anything, Macaulay Culkin fucking falls off, or doesn't fall off, he gets, like, let go off a cliff. That's insane. I mean, I remember that fucking movie when I was a kid, and I was like, what the fuck?
Did the kid in The Omen, did he kill other kids or just people?
I have no fucking idea.
Can't remember.
Golly, more kid murder.
God,
it's so like weird to think that Macaulay Culkin went from like, I'm gonna fucking throw a paint can in your face and you're gonna get out of here, you robbers, to like, I want to murder this whole family, and I'm still like 9 years old.
Even like threatening to do like horrible things to like babies. Did I tell you about that brawl in Cell Block 99 with Vince Vaughn?
I remember you talking about the movie a little bit. I saw it on Amazon Prime, but I never ended up watching it.
Yeah,
it's over now.
So. They threaten him. They like have him in. He's in jail, and they're threatening him to like if he doesn't do what they say, they're going to they're gonna fly in this guy from Korea. He's like a special abortionist, wow. And he doesn't just do an abortion. He goes in and removes the child's limbs in utero. So he like cuts off the arms and legs so they're born like quadriplegic.
What the fuck?
And he looks so sad when they finally like call it off because Vince Vaughn like beats the shit out of like everyone in this movie. Spoiler alert, but it's kind of like obvious what's going to happen. But
I say that name. I never thought there was going to be a delimbing of an infant. Is that even an infant if it's still in the body? It's probably got a fucking another word
fetus?
for that. Yeah. Golly, dude. Jesus.
But they tell him that it's like the abortion has been called off, and the guy like looks so sad.
So sad. Golly, that's insane to me that someone would go through like, because you have to go through like some sort of medical training and stuff. Like you have to know something. Like I couldn't just do that. I wouldn't know what the fuck I was doing. Maybe it's easier than I think. Like, it's easy to fuck shit up. Like,
well, I feel like it just sounds like way too far fetched because, I mean, I guess surgeons do stuff all the time, but like you'd have to like, there's a whole amniotic sac and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think you'd be able to do that without like rupturing it. But
yeah, but that's why I don't know. Like I feel like I could probably get in there and rip some kids' arms off. Like fucking something up, because to me that's a fuck up. Like fucking something up, I think is probably easier to do. But it's still bizarre to me that someone like I was talking about how I felt during school, and this guy's like into it for years and years. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be able to do this and this. And it's like, what are you doing 10 years later? Like, oh, I'm ripping arms and legs off fetuses. It's like, what happened to you, man? Like, was it just rough in the ER and you just cracked one day and now you're like, hey, I'm a fucking, I don't even know what you call it, a black market. That's so fucking bizarre. And not even like, I get it if you're like, oh, abortion's legal, and I think it should, I'm pro-choice, and I'm going to be on the black market and do these abortions so these women don't die. Like, I can understand that logic of that, but to be like, no, I'm an evil doctor. I'm an evil doctor. That's so fucking bizarre.
I think that's only, I guess that's
it goes
only
to so
in,
much
like,
schooling and so much money, and maybe that's what it was. Maybe I hear, man, Bernie Sanders fucking is going to cancel that guy's debt, and he's like, sweet, I don't have to be evil doctor anymore.
I can use my power for good.
Yeah, I was trying to pay off all my bills, and the black market, man, it just pays better, dude. No taxes and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't think Bernie Sanders is going to help that guy out. Evil doctor. That's so bizarre. That's someone's got to like, I'm just picturing that guy at college, and he's probably evil then. I just wonder if he's hiding it
more evil.
If he's hiding it well, if he's like looking in textbooks, like, sweet, I learned how to fucking cut open a uterus this week. I can use that in the future. That's probably murdering kids. Probably a good thing to go out on. Probably. I don't have any jokes. No. I probably should have had one ready so that I could, maybe end on a lighter note. But I could probably find something relatively quick. Yeah. There we go. I'm just gonna randomly. We got this here. Don't just go to therapy for you. Go for your friends. They're the ones who have to hear your crap. That's not really that good of a joke, is it?
Oh, did you want to...
I do. Here you go. Biden has run an entire presidential campaign solely on having a cool black friend. That's kind of funny, right?
Did you want to promote your Instagram at all for your art stuff, or?
Sure. It's Martyr at Martyr_art. Martyr is MARTER. That is MARTER _ art. ART.
That's on Instagram and Twitter?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not really that active on Twitter and stuff. Okay. I'm a scroller and reader and get angry. Like, what is this guy saying?
Oh, and if you haven't already visited at Smileys_corner, SMILIES.
Smileys.
That's on Instagram, and then smileys.corner@gmail.com if you want to shoot us an email. We never get any, so it'd be...
Don't say that. Say we get thousands. Hopefully we'll get to yours, listeners.
But yeah, follow us on all the things, and peace be with you, everybody. Yeah. Thanks for listening.